Take an opportunity to talk about my Sauer P320 M18, and not so much about the pistol itself, but the attachments that are on here. This may be a video just about the Romeo 0 Pro, and then I'll get to the Foxtrot 1X later on or something. It just depends on how long it's going to take. But yeah, so these seem to be pretty much almost made for this pistol, and they fit really good, and I want to discuss whether they're worth it, especially because there's a lot of controversy on this this optic here, just because it's not metal and a lot of people feel it's super weak and wouldn't hold up to most real life situations. Now, I'm not new to Romeo 0 optics, so I've had two of the Romeo Zeros, and then now we've got the Pro here. I never had the Elite. The Elite appears to be very similar to the Pro, but with the same footprint from the Romeo 0. So this one does have a different footprint. I don't remember exactly what the footprint is, but whatever the M18 and M17 slides are pre-milled to, that's the footprint that the 0 Pro has. And then if you've got like a P365, you would just either get the, if you're not going with like a Holosun or something, you would go get the either just regular 0 or the Elite. So this will not work on a P365. Just, I saw that was something that was searched online. It's not compatible with that. If you got the 320, it looks like you're gonna be good, but anything else, no. This particular model does let you cycle through 3 different options for your reticle. You can do just a dot, and I'll go ahead and just post photos up right there. So you can do just the dot, you can do just a ring, it's like 32, or then you can do the ring with a 6 MOA dot. So it's like 32 is the outer dot. As far as setting those brightnesses, so like on the dot here, let's see if you can see it. See this little tiny little button right there behind the lens? You have to hold that down. They say 3 seconds makes it start flashing slowly. 5 seconds is supposed to start flashing rapidly. The slow flashing is supposed to be, then you just tap it and you go through and select your brightness. The 5 seconds of rapid flashing, if you tap, it's supposed to change what which reticle you're doing. I've noticed it's very hard to get it to, like, you got to put a lot of force. It's kind of odd. I don't hate it. I guess it's easy. It's good that you're not going to make any changes that you don't want to make, but they could have made it a little bit easier, because I mean, it's very unlikely I'm going to push in there and make a change that, I don't know. That's just my thought. So it felt like really difficult. You got to put a lot of force, and I'm like trying to see the light and see when it starts flashing, because your finger's blocking the lens, so you can't see the lens. And so you're trying to see the light if it's on, and if you're somebody that doesn't want your brightness turned up a lot, the light's very faint. I felt like that was altogether something that maybe they could have done a little bit better, and I feel like I remember the regular 0 kind of being a pain like that too, but I only had brightness adjustment, so it wasn't that big of a deal, because I believe you just hit it and it brightness changed, where this one you've got to actually get it into like a setup mode. So that's probably one complaint I would say I'm not too thrilled about with this. They are saying it's carbon infused. I don't believe that that's what they said with the 0, so supposedly now it's a little bit stronger than the other one was, which is good, because it does in fact stick out a little bit wider on the sides now, so it is going to take more bumps than the regular 0 did, because the regular 0 on all the pistols I put it on, like the XDS Mod 2 and stuff like that, it sat flush with the firearm, where this one is wider. And this is the P320, so I mean, we're not talking about a skinny firearm. This is not huge, but fair sized, and it's even wider than that, which is good for sight picture. The sight picture on this is really good. I do like that. And for the people that are concerned about the material, they do provide you, just like they did with the other one, this shield that goes on it. Now, I don't have the shield attached. I thought about putting it on, but I was like, that's just even more width, And when you're carrying this, that is a point of contact that rubs against me. I'm not the lightest person in the world, so I feel like that would start pushing, and I don't know if the little metal edge would get super uncomfortable, but I may go back to this one day and try it again. But honestly, I'm not overly worried about anything happening to this. I feel like it's durable enough for my life situations, and I think it's fine. Plus, I like the way it looks better. It is pretty cool that it's got its own little, that is glow in the dark. So with lighting, it does light up, and it lights up pretty well. And basically, this does not stick up. The little sight notches, you'd think that they stick up to where you can co-witness with them. But to be honest with you, they aren't taller than, it looks like, where the bottom of the lens, it's hard to see, but so when those are up, you really can't see a whole lot. Like, it's, the co-witness is there, it's possible, it's just, I don't know, it's not perfect. Oh, and this isn't zeroed in yet. I've still got to go to the range, so that's a whole different section. That's, like I said, this video might be a little bit longer. I may be doing a separate video on the Foxtrot 1X, but yeah, like, so I do like the fact though that I can just line it. So I've got my vertical line, and then you just got to know where you're horizontal if you're co-witnessing versus the sight being on. And so you just line those two up. So if you know that when you're at the range, when you line that dot just like above it, say you realize that you were actually at 7 yards 6 inches higher, just bump it down just a tad, and you probably compensate for that just fine. If you use it and you actually train with your firearm, it shouldn't be a big deal. But I do like that little glow in the dark thing because it does work. I didn't even have it out in the sunlight, and I got into a dark environment. I just kind of took a look at it, and it was actually super bright, not like overpowering, but just like a tritium night sights would be. So I was pretty happy about that I didn't have to take any extra, because a lot of times I'd take like a flashlight, like an O-light to them on the glow in the dark stuff to try to get it to, you know, really suck in the light. On this, I didn't have to. It's pretty good quality, it looks like. Now I probably threw some of the range footage over this video because I typically do that whenever I'm sitting down, because you don't want to see this the whole video, right? So I usually throw the range footage over, but what I am going to do is I'm at this point going to go ahead and go to the range, get it zeroed in. It looks like my bore sight is, it appears to be off. So when I lined the bore sight up, I tried to zero to it, and it was actually pushing this beyond its zero capabilities, which makes me feel like, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I should just kind of co-witness. And I looked, and it looked like it was way out of spectrum. So I'm thinking that my bore sight is jacked up, which it was one that was sent to me for free. I did a review on it. I mean, it worked-ish. It didn't seem like it was 100% on, but now it seems like it's really off. So I don't think, there's no adjustments on the internal components. So probably another one for the trash, but I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way, line it up, shoot, and make my adjustments accordingly and see how my grouping goes. But yeah, so let's roll the range footage if I haven't already rolled it all already, and then when we get back, I'm going to discuss how I felt it did, how in the actual use this optic is, and whether I would recommend you getting one or not, because it is a little pricey. I think I paid like $230, $240 for this one. So we'll sit back down and kind of see where we get from there. Well, I just left the range, and gotta be honest, it did pretty well. Yeah, my bore sight was way off, and yeah, it held zero the whole time. I shot, I'd say about 250 rounds in total, because I did some the P320 is new to me, so I always, if I ever intend on like carrying it or anything, or just for review purposes, I always shoot some carry ammo through it. So I did some Sig V Crown and some other stuff. I don't remember the brand I got from Palmetto State Army. It was actually really cheap. But yeah, so we went through it, and it did really well. I got it zeroed in after probably about, like, I'd say 4, 5 bullets. So basically I just, as you can see in the footage here, I loaded like all that dirt and gravel kicking up on my car. Okay, as I was saying, basically all the I load 1 round into a mag. This is in case you're wondering how to do it without a bore sight, how I do it. So I get it as close as I can to what I think it should be. I load 1 round in the mag, aim down target, fire it, see where I'm at compared to where I was aiming. Now you got to be at a distance that you know that you can hit really good. So I did 10 yards for my zeroing in, and then set it down. I prop it up. Now that it's cleared, there's no more ammo because I only had 1 round in it. I set it down with the front propped up, looking at the sight. I see what the difference was on my target, so I knew they had bars, so I knew I was a bar low and I was just slightly to the right. So I brought my center point even with the target. I moved it to the right where that bullet hit, so I went ahead and made that adjustment. So now I know that I'm over where that bullet hit, right? And then I knew that I was about exactly 1 bar high than the sight showed. So then I just moved it exactly 1 bar high from on the target, and with a couple slight adjustments, I mean, I was right in. So if you're ever wondering how you can do it without a bore sight, because I'm gonna be honest, most of these little cheap bore sights, they're hit or miss. I've had some issues where red dots supposedly were 100% in, or a laser was 100% in, go to the range, it's way off. So yeah, that's enough of me veering off the subject though. The Romeo Zero Pro, I like the sight picture. I did find, however, one big negative on top of what I was saying about how you change the different reticles. Big negative that I found that I don't like was and I guess not a negative, it's probably just sights in general. The other ones, like the 32 MOA with the dot in the center, it just felt like it just consumed too much of my target. I couldn't really see what I was trying to aim at. And then even the circular dot around wasn't as bad. You could look into the center. I would say that one's usable, but the one with the circle and the dot, I couldn't use it. It just consumed too much of the target, and I didn't have enough visual. And in a real life situation, I would not want to be covering up that much of my vision to where you're not 100% what you're aiming at. But yeah, so I kind of stuck with just the dot. I played around with the other ones a little bit. I was all over the place. The dot just seems that's just what's precise. That's what works for me, and that's probably what I'm going to continue to use on it. Altogether, I mean, it's cool that you have that option, but I think that option cost more, so I don't know if that would have been an expense I would repurchase again. Altogether, I really like the sight. Time's gonna tell. I'm gonna have to do a lot more range time to make sure everything holds up good. I didn't test out the light, but more or less with a light, you see how the visibility is with it. Make sure it stays on the firearm, and then make sure after you get done using it at the range, does the light still work after it's dealt with all the, you know, shock and everything from shooting. So I'll test that later, do another video on that, just because this one is extending pretty long. But yeah, the Romeo Zero Pro, I do like it. I would purchase it again. I would probably get the model that did not have the 32 MOA dot, just because I wanted it just to have the option, just because I was curious. I haven't had a red dot that was for a pistol that had that option. I have had ones for rifles that had that option, but yeah, I don't think I would buy that feature again personally, just because I felt like it covered up. And it could be my eyesight. I do have astigmatism, and sometimes those lines get a little blurred, and that could be 100% me. I tried to get my camera to focus so I could take photos to post it for the video for y'all, but I couldn't get the camera to focus on it. I just made a giant red blur, like a 32 MOA, just red dot, solid, covering up like most of the lens. So yeah, I couldn't get that to focus to get good pictures, but I'll show you what the dots are. I'll look up generic photos of it just so you got an idea of what it has. They are clear. I mean, if I focus my eyesight, that they're clear. They're thin lines. If you turn up the brightness, they're a little much in my opinion. I feel like I got it at a really good setting right now. I probably would never change the brightness from this. The only way I change the brightness is maybe if this was specifically only going to be for nighttime use. But even then, because my flashlight overshadows if it gets any darker than it currently is, I made it to where it's just visible with reflection from my flashlight. That way I'm not going to get blinded to the point where I can't use the actual red dot. But I feel like the brightness doesn't need to go any higher than that. Maybe if it was an extremely sunny day and I knew that I was going to need it for something, I guess, like out at a range that's outdoor range. But I think it's really good. It is a little pricey for a polymer optic, but I have had ones that were close to that same price that were not polymer, and I felt like the quality was actually lower. I'm not one that's like to feel like just because something's polymer, I'm not going to trust it. Now, if I was getting dropped off overseas or something, yeah, my opinion might be a little bit different because I might be actually really doing some wild stuff with it. But to be honest, I'm very minimal. I don't do anything except for go to work and come home, and don't do a whole lot. So it's not like I'm going to be climbing a mountain with it or something. Oh, probably a bad reference. Whatever. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit it with a like button. Subscribe to the channel. Really close to 5,000 subscribers. I intend to try to upload a little bit more. I am very busy with work. I moved to an area that it's a good problem to have, but I am very busy with work, and so I get around when I can to try to go to the range and stuff like that. Start tinting windows for cars. That's kind of gotten to be a little new hobby. It's also consumed some of my time. But yeah, that's what I got for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to y'all later.